Let the people pick the president or the Electoral College.
Well, state lawmakers are once again debating moving Colorado to a national popular vote state. Now, the State House will take up the measure next week.
Those behind the bill argue this is about making sure every vote counts, while those opposed believe our founding fathers got it right. And this would take away Colorado's ability to be a player in the national election.
Well, tonight, Denver 7's Jennifer Kovaleski takes us 360 on popular versus Electoral College debate.
It's the most accessed bill on the state legislature's website, and perhaps for good reason. What we're talking about could change how we elect our president. Tonight we go 360 on your voice, your vote, and the moral dilemma over what our democracy should look like, starting with the lawmaker behind Colorado's national popular vote bill.
The bottom line is that every Coloradan should have their votes heard.
Democratic Senator Mike Foote views the existing winner-take-all system as anti-democratic. It awards all of Colorado's 9 electoral votes to the popular vote winner in the state.
Those that vote for the candidate that didn't receive the majority of votes in that state are not heard.
For him, this is about making sure every vote counts and every voice is heard.
What problem do you see this as fixing?
Our president should be elected because the president appeals to the majority of voters here in the United States, not just the majority of voters in 12 battleground states.
Let's pause this 360 for a moment and give you some context. This is essentially an effort to sidestep the Electoral College without the heavy lift of changing the Constitution. Here's how it works. If passed and signed by the governor, Colorado would be the 13th state to join what's known as the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. States in the compact agree to award all of their electoral votes to the winner of the national popular vote, no matter who wins in their state. But there's a trick. It only goes into effect when enough states representing 270 electoral votes sign on, which is what you need to win the presidency. So far, 12 states with a total of 172 electoral votes have already joined. Colorado would bring 9 more. 89 more electoral votes are needed.
It's been a bipartisan idea for a long time, and perhaps the emotions from 2016 are still a little too raw.
Going back to our 360, the 2016 election, many argue, is why we're seeing this push away from the Electoral College. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by almost 3 million votes, but lost because Donald Trump won where it counts, in the Electoral College. 2 decades ago, Democrat Al Gore saw the same fate. In both recent cases, the loser was a Democrat, leading some to question if this is nothing more than partisan sour grapes. To which Foote says, not so fast.
It's not just about the last election. Let's be clear about that. The idea of the national popular vote has been around for a long time.
He says Republicans came very close to having the same outcome in 2004.
John Kerry lost the national popular vote by over 3 million. But if he would have flipped just 60,000 votes in Ohio, he would have been the president.
Let's keep our 360 going here.
Absolutely.
By bringing in those opposed to the national popular vote bill.
It takes away the ability for Colorado to be a player in a national election.
Republican State Senator Jerry Sonnenberg is a defender of the Electoral College. His view: our forefathers were brilliant, and the Electoral College protects the interests of smaller states, not to be overrun by states with much larger populations.
When you have a little more extra power, why would you cede that to New York or California?
He also thinks going to the national popular vote will make Colorado irrelevant.
Colorado probably wouldn't be a player. We wouldn't see presidential candidates come to Colorado.
It's interesting, huh?
Which brings us back to Foote, who says that's wrong as a matter of history.
I would say review the Constitution. And there's plenty of allowances that the founders made in our Constitution to try to balance rural and urban interests, but the Electoral College was not one of them.
Our last perspective on this 360 ride through our democracy comes from other states. Alternatives that don't involve abandoning parts of the Electoral College. All states could adopt what now exists in Maine and Nebraska, where all but 2 electoral votes are chosen by congressional district, meaning whoever wins the votes in each district gets the electoral vote. The other 2 go to the statewide winner. Which brings us back to this question: what is the right thing for our democracy? The answer is clearly a matter of perspective. But what is clear? There seems to be a lot of momentum inside the Gold Dome for Colorado to join the National Vote Compact.
I think that we have a decent chance of passing it this year. I know that there's a lot of Coloradans that want this to happen.
The Democrats have enough power to do whatever they want to do, and if they want to go to the popular vote, they'll be able to.
Jennifer Kovaleski, Denver 7.